Hello my freaky darlings and welcome back to Wytchwood. I know it has been a while since I played this game. I basically took a hiatus last month. Things were going a bit sideways, so I had to stop doing my YouTube recording for a while. Now I am back and I need to review what I actually have started. This was the last thing I remember starting besides the coffin of Andy and Lele, which I am doing with Excalibur, which assuming he's up for it, the next chapter should be next Thursday. And I should be recording that in the middle of the day rather than at night. So we're going to continue. Oh, I start back at home. Okay, nothing in there. Can you tell it's been a while since I've actually played? Good morning. I trust you've made up your mind. Will you collect the souls I've asked for, or would you prefer to stay stuck in this festering swamp? Alright, no need to get your horns in a twist. I'll do as you ask. You haven't given me much choice. Splendid. As it happens, I can already sense the first 4 souls we seek. 2 are in the forest, another in the swamp to the north, and the last in the fields to the south. Could you be more specific? Near a shapely stump? Perhaps inside a tree with a face? By an overgrown mushroom grove? What do I look like, a compass? Go out there and look for yourself. And so we have started the Sleeping Maiden. The bear in the forest, the ox in the fields, the leech in the swamp, and the snake in the forest. I have to get used to the controls again. I'm going to, see what I can gather in the garden first, before I leave. Because it never hurts to be prepared. Alright, back to the forest we go. Alright, so it said the bear in the forest. Grabbing that. Oh, I was trying to read that. Oi! Stop right where you are, dingus and dongus. Yeah, nowhere but soldiers are allowed inside the lakeshore camp, and you don't look like no soldier. Yeah, that's not a standard issue helmet. I just came to visit my, son? I don't think so. Captain said no visitors, so buzz off. Yeah, unless you're the quartermaster. You ain't getting in. Hey, where's that nervous wreck anyway? He ought to be back with that shipment of honey by now. Alright, so quest objectives. Find the quartermaster in the forest, another hapless fellow, his cart in splinters at the southern edge of the forest. And this is how we start the bear. I am so glad to be back recording, honestly. We must be prepared. Chop. They said, I believe it was near the fields. That blue guy just blends in with the background to me. I can never see him until he moves. Oh, hello there. Sorry, I think I managed to get most of this debris off the road. Looks like you've made a fine wreck. What happened to your cart? Yes, well, you see, I was sent on a very important mission by order of my captain, the bear. The bear, you say? What sort of mission? It's my job to make sure the lakeshore camp is well stocked with provisions, mostly a steady supply of honey and for the bear's favorite mead. I was just on my way back from the apiary. I can't say that word, apparently, with a cart full when a deer or something darted out of nowhere. Jostled my poor mule so bad that she broke her bridle and ran off. My own heart nearly leapt out of my ribcage. Piled the darn cart right to the ditch, she did. Now every barrel's smashed and I can't bring myself to report back empty-handed. The bear will have my guts for garters, I'm sure of it. This bear sounds like quite a brute. Oh, you don't know the half of it. If he doesn't get his honey mead, heads will roll. Maybe you could lend me a hand? I can't very well put this broken cart back together. No, nothing like that. But could you take a message to the sergeant of the lakeshore camp? He's a reasonable fellow. Let him know what happened. Maybe he can get me out of this bind. You get to the lakeshore camp if you follow the road to the northwest of here. I need to stay with the cart and assess the damages. Oh, dear. Alright, what do I have in my inventory? Alright, so I think it would behoove me to explore down here a bit. Okay, that one's not diggable. That one is. Shiny stone. If I'm not mistaken, there were coins down here. Something stirs inside, but does not emerge. Yeah, with those cute little red eyes. Locked. Wonder how you get the key for that. I don't remember. Alright, let's go back to the bear. This game will have a lot of back and forth. Hey, where'd you think you're going? Yeah, no one but our soldiers allowed inside the lakeshore camp. Get out of my way, I have urgent news of your quartermaster. I need to speak with your sergeant. Urgent? Only thing that's urgent is the line for the latrine, or if the captain hasn't had his drink. That's right, Captain Bear's in a right foul mood. You can't come in, unless you want a good thrashing. The guard almost has to shout over the clattering din coming from inside the camp. You heard him. It's dangerous in there. Wouldn't have the heart to let a frail old granny like you near that beast. One guard turns to the other with a conspiratorial shrug. Yeah, but who are we to say what's good for our health? Oh yeah, you're right. We might be convinced to, look the other way if we was fairly compensated. Right, fairly compensated, of course. We'd be sticking our necks out after all. Oh, I do have coins. The guards hold their hands expectantly like children begging for candy. You carefully press 3 heavy gold coins into the palm of the waiting guard. There, I expect you two can divide them evenly amongst yourselves. Right, 1 for me. 1 for you, 2 for me. What, you mean 2 for me and 1 for you? I'm the one who does all the real guarding around here. You still owe me for that game of dice you lost. You cheated me. Give me them coins. The 2 guards fall into fisticuffs and roll into the bushes, leaving the gate to the camp wide open. Let's Good for us. As you cautiously approach, the bear drains the last of his enormous tankard and smashes it against the head of a nearby soldier, knocking the hapless man to the ground. And then, I whopped him just like that, so the next time I catch any of you cowards turning tail, I'll skewer you like a fish and leave your guts for the gulls. Suddenly noticing that his drink is gone dry, the bear bellows to the skies. More meat, you yellow-bellied worms! More drink! Bring me my delicious honey mead! The soldiers taking cover nearby exchange nervous glances at each other, none wanting to confront the bear. There's no more honey mead. The bear wipes a strand of drool from his sagging lips, and his bleary eyes slowly focus on you. A mocking smirk splits his face as he waves at you with his great spiked mace. Say now, that's a funny-looking helmet, soldier! Did I ever tell you about the time I crushed the bucket-headed barbarians of the western mountains? You decide that now is a good time to leave the bear to his ramblings rather than make yourself an unfortunate prop in his war stories. The bear kicks an empty tankard at you as you retreat back into the camp. That's right! Go get me more mead, you good-for-nothing slackard! Alright, where am I going? Shh, we don't want him to find us. Oh, you look distressed. Probably you, then. The frenetic-looking officer shouts hurried orders at whoever will listen, but most of the camp soldiers are busy cowering or are knocked out cold. Man the gates! You, over there, secure the perimeter! We just need to hold out a little longer. So, we're running out of men. Where's the damn shipment of honey? You step over an unconscious footman to address the man in charge. I might be able to answer that question. Who let this old bat into the camp? I found your quartermaster. He's having a bit of cart trouble on the... I need a drink. He's having a bit of cart trouble on the road. I'm afraid your shipment isn't going to get here anytime soon. What? Oh, curse my rusty britches! Without that honey and other supplies, we can't make the honey mead. The bear's gonna flatten the whole camp when he finds out. The camp looks half flattened already. What's all this ruckus about? Well, the bear is the greatest warrior there ever was, which is grand and all when we're fighting the enemy. But once we set up camp, he likes to use us poor sods as playthings to reenact his conquests. And the only thing the bear loves as much as fighting is drinking. Guzzles up so much honey mead we have to brew it right here in the camp just to keep up. He points to a squat-looking device tucked near some tents. A portable brewery. Without that shipment of ingredients, I don't see how we can ever calm the bear down. He'll smash us all into paste before the sun sets. Let me take a look at this brewery of yours. If the bear is so in love with brawling and boozing, then perhaps it's about time he received a dose of his own medicine. You inspect the brass contraption. A tank here, a hopper there. The bitter smell of alcohol is infused into the well-worn metal. Despite the needlessly complicated dials and tubing, at the end of the day, the brewery is really just a fancy cauldron. Seems simple enough. I should be able to concoct just the potion for your troubles. The rattled sergeant shrugs his shoulders at you. Sure, if you think it'll help, but you'll need to fuel the darn thing first. Our supplies are a mess, so you'll have to figure it out on your own. You open up the brewery to inspect its complicated innards. Jar of water and a cinder box. I can do that. Useful against dryads. That's a honeycomb, I believe. And I don't have one of those yet. Let's see. I can make... Okay. So that gives me all the jars I need. Ooh. Those should be handy. The cinder box is gonna be the complicated thing. Alright, 5 jars of water. Heidi-ho! I'm afraid we're closed for the season. Closed? But I need some of your honey right away. Sorry, our supply was cleaned out just a little while ago. Funny little man with a cart, you just missed him. Yes, I've met him. He's the quartermaster for the Bear, but he had a bit of an accident on the road. I need to collect some more honey for the Lakeshore camp. The Bear? Well, that explains why the quartermaster purchased so dang much. I heard that lumbering bully would steal the nectar from a larva if it suited him. My poor bees have already worked themselves half to death for that order, and they don't have any honey left. I wish I could do something to help you, but the only honey left in the entire apiary is Her Majesty's personal reserve. Her Majesty? Why, my sweet spring flower, the jewel of my crown, the golden son of my... Yes, get on with it. My beloved queen. She's as lovely as she is wise and resides over her flowered kingdom. A shrill voice pierces the meadow and sends chills down your spine. Slave, where is my dinner? I ordered you to bring me the finest sunflowers. Right away, my love. And make it pretty this time. I don't want another one of your dandelion bouquets like some common wasp. Yes, my sweet. I think I better have an audience with this queen myself. Angry bees. The regal insect looks down her curled nose at you scornfully. That fool beekeeper is supposed to stop the rabble from trampling my delicate garden. Good help is so hard to find, isn't it? And I suppose you've come to lend a hand? No, I don't think so. What do you want, little beetle? You seem like a very busy woman, so I won't waste your time. I need honey. Your best honey. She tilts her long neck back and lets out a buzzing laugh. Ha! Do you think I simply give my carefully cultivated riches to just any commoner? Do you have any idea how much time and energy is spent managing this colony? Everyone always wants something, but no one ever wants to work for it. Ch! In a rustle of petals, the beekeeper comes running over, holding out an assortment of beautiful prairie flowers. My darling sweetheart, I offer you the finest meadow flowers. I hope you find these to your liking. Is this marigold? You wax-brained fool, you know I despise the stuff. How many times must I repeat myself? Get out of my sight, all of you! My love, I have wronged you. Let me try again. You follow the beekeeper a short distance away while he busies himself picking more flowers. She seems to be in a foul mood. Does she always treat you like this? Oh, well, yes, but it's really usually my own fault. Sometimes when she really gets her venom up, a little bit of smoke and soothing herbs calms her right down. Smoke, you say? I'm sure I could come up with something to even out her mood. Ooh, royal incense recipe. Now, what do I need for that? Oh. Again, wrong button. A smoke pellet. I could do that. Witch spice. Good thing I have frog slime, apparently, and, soporific potion, not poison. Which means I'm going to need another jar. Okay, perfect, so... You sneak! Did you honestly believe that your little puff of achoo smoke can... The queen fans herself lightly as the world begins to push and pull all around her. Ooh, does anyone else feel a little hot? Anyways, as I was saying, you can't just... The sparkling sun bears down on the queen like a warm summer's embrace. My, look at all of these beautiful colors. Have they always been so bright? The queen bee stretches her arms across the sea of flowers, brushing the tips of their petals gleefully. She arcs her limbs through the myriad of colors swirling about her head. It's gorgeous! Oh, and what's that delicious smell? Cracking into the waxen walls of her hive, the queen pulls out a golden honeycomb. She proceeds to messily stuff the honey into her face. Delectable. Oh, it's so good. You simply have to try some, my dear. I've never tasted anything so delicious in my life. She offers up a sticky handful to you. Why, thank you, my queen. Well, there's that. I think it, had more of an effect on her than I expected. He has concerned himself with the floral arrangement. Okay, so if that's not a honeycomb, what the hell is it? Cinderbox. Rodent lard! I guess that would come from making snap traps? I need, I need a bunch of these, I guess. That's the only thing I can imagine that will get me rodent lard. Lazy grass. It's just like me for real. Good day to you. Okie doke. Perhaps I can puzzle him somehow? What does he have that I need? Oh right, the witch's eye. A natural tinkerer but stubbornly refuses to read any instruction manuals. They said that the ox was here in the fields too. Okay, it says I'll chop you. Changeling root. A vegetal farmer. A hefty gourd stands before you, wiping beads of dew off his bumpy forehead. He tilts the brim of his hat and greets you with what you interpret as a smile. Welcome to my farm, stranger. What brings you out there? How is it growing, farmer? Oh, you know, not so bad. Trying my best to win the harvest competitions this year. Well, you look to be making good progress. I'm sure you'll be a shoo-in for the blue ribbon. You would think so, wouldn't you? But every year, without fail, that sour ox takes the prize. No matter how hard I work, I can't seem to outgrow his crops. Careful now, you're beginning to sound like a sore loser. Yeah. Not sore loser, I just think it's quite suspicious, don't you? Last year, the ox and his family grew the largest corn crops I ever seen. I was only barely able to get second place because of my own little helpers. He motions to animated turnips and potatoes busy with menial farm work. But this year, his crops are larger than ever before, even though his family is nowhere to be seen. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's working the fields all by himself? What happened to his family? That's the fishy part. No one knows. They just disappeared one day and the ox said nothing. That does sound suspicious. Perhaps I'll go and ask him myself. Yeah, his farm is down to the southwest. You can't miss it. I must get back to work. Veggies won't grow themselves, you know. And with that, we have started the ox. Okay, to the southwest. The ox's farm. There we go. If I interact with it, it just gives me an egg. Pooch's barking, biting ears are well behind him. Okay, just get clay from that. That gourd head is bound to rot. Okay. Hey, this is private property. What are you doing trespassing on my land? Why, I just came to admire the glow of your crops, Master Ox. I heard you produce the most bountiful produce in the land. Ha! Well, you heard right. I work day in and day out till my hands are raw and my back is broken, but you won't find a finer farm anywhere else. You're sure to take first prize at the Harvest Festival again. You and your family must be so proud. The ox spits on the tilled soil. Pah! Those lazy louts never understood the pride and joy of devoting oneself to the land. What good's a family that gripes about hard labor? We'd have never won any of those competitions if it wasn't for my sacrifice. Where is your family, then? I can't help but notice you're working all by yourself. If you must know, those damnable bandits out by the South Bridge stormed in the place one night and stole them away. Bandits? You don't seem very concerned about getting them back. I'm better off. For all I know, they could have already been ransomed off for fertilizer. But if you're so worried, why don't you go talk to some of those bloody brigands yourself? Now get your big nose off of my fields or I toss you in the compost heap. Lovely. I hope the crows eat all your shit. I can make a smoke bomb if I had frog slime. Which is something I think I'm going to need. A dreadful doll. And I need a sewing kit for that. A grain, a sewing kit, and... oh, the bees. I need to go back to farm, but first we're going to see how far we can get with the bear storyline. Ah, there we go. There's Rodent Lard. Alright, back to the bear. Alright, you open up the brewery to inspect its complicated innards. A jar of water. I don't have enough twigs. You slosh cool, clear water into the brewery's main tank. Not the best space for potion brewing, but you want to preserve that honey mead flavor. You open up the brewery to inspect its complicated innards. Cinder box. With the heat of a cinder box, you set the stove chamber of the brewery alight. It will bring the tank to a rolling boil. Okay, now I have to go get more twigs, because, despite my grabbing everything in sight, twigs are the one thing I didn't... oh no, I had them, I just, made the wicker works with them. Oh, okay. Through the open tent flap, you catch a glimpse of pillaged trinkets and treasure scattered about the spacious interior. You surmise that one of these precious objects might contain enough magical essence to use as a token of the bear. Your eyes have only a moment to linger upon the giant fur-lined bed before a hand pulls the door flap shut. The sergeant gives you a disapproving glare as he ushers you away. Hey, you can't go in there. This is the bear's personal tent. You know, the kind of hell that would break loose if he finds out someone's been snooping? Don't worry, I'll be careful. It seems like your men are keeping him distracted anyway. You glance over at the bear as he tosses aside a soldier like a sack of potatoes. No way, no how. If you think this is bad, just wait until he finds out there's no more honey mead. If you're so afraid of that stomping brute, why don't you just slip away into the night? Surely it would prolong your life a little. And abandon all my friends? We soldiers gotta stick together. It's our only chance. If only there were some way to stand up to the bear. A thought seems to cross the sergeant's mind as he notices the potions and baubles hanging about your belt. Say, you're good with magical doodads and what's-its, right? What if you made some sort of protective charm or talisman? Then I could maybe have a chance against that monster without getting my head stoved in. If I make you a protective talisman, will you let me into this tent? I suppose I wouldn't have much to worry about if you did. Okay, protective talisman and wicked gemstone. Okay, magic paste. Fairy wings. Milk. That's dog hair. And I need a wicked gemstone, magic paste, and a wicker work. Oh, this is going to be a little grindy. Just a smidge. Fairy dust. Dragonfly wing. Okay, new plan. Because I have to go to the swamp, I have to figure out where that is. What a pretty tree. Like, as much as I, enjoy this game, and as much as I like this game, I don't remember everything. You approach a young woman weeping sorrowfully into her palms. She catches her breath for a moment and looks out longingly over the placid lake. Oh, my sweet songbird, why have you forsaken me to a life devoid of your love? Tears well up in her eyes as she buries her face once again. You consider leaving this melodrama well enough alone, but something about the poor girl reminds you of the maiden slumbering beneath your house. You draw out a tattered handkerchief and offer it to the maiden. There, there, dry your eyes, my child, and tell old Granny what the matter is. Oh, thank you. You're very kind. She takes the cloth and daintily dabs the corners of her eyes. Swallowing the last of her sobs, she composes herself before sighing wistfully. It's my beloved. Such a sweet and romantic man, with the voice of a meadowlark. I get it. He dumped you. Well, don't worry, there's plenty of other frogs in the swamp. What? No! He loves me and I him. Though our families would never allow us to be together, he'd come and sing outside my balcony every night. One night we both vowed to escape and meet by this lake. Her lip quivers. I waited and waited under the waning moon, even past the morning sun, but he still didn't reveal himself. Tough break. Maybe he just wasn't that into you? The woman snaps at you with sudden vitriol. He would never abandon me. We're destined to be together. She slips back into a melancholic gaze out over the lake. Even now, I still hear that beautiful melody of his lute coming from across the water. Over the dull sounds of lapping waves and quacking waterfowl, faint notes of some faraway stringed instruments whisper through the reeds. Oh, I hear it too. Maybe you were just mad in love. It's coming from somewhere in the middle of the lake. He's out there somewhere, I just know it. She crumples into another dramatic bout of inconsolable tears. Now, I'm sure it's just some echo bouncing off the shore. I'll go find where this tardy bard of yours has run off to. And we have begun The Snake. The music seems strongest on this side of the shore, but even here you can't quite place the source. It seems to be emanating from the half-sunken ruin poking out of the lake's waters. Maybe that fool bard's hiding way out there. Bah, I swim as well as hens fly. Suddenly some unseen voice chitters mockingly into your ear. Ho-ho! Hee-hee! The musical man you'll never see. You spin around, but no one is there. Just a nattering laughter bouncing on the wind. Who's there? Show yourself, spirit. Unveiling powder. What did I need for that? Perfect. You snap your hand around the elusive creature and squeeze. Ah, let me go, you knobbly pot! You're crushing the life out of me! You trifling little pest. What do you know about this music? Music? What music? All I hear is the slapping waves and the peeping birdies. Your wrinkly old ears must be full of bugs. Don't you play smart with me. I'll pop off your head like a daisy. Ooh, you mean that music? It's the sound of the snake's traveling circus. I thought everyone knew that. Circus stays still, but the door's the thing that travels. You see? And right now the door's out on that lake. But you'll never get in. You give the wretched sprite a good shake, and a shower of glittering dust sheds off its wings. Tell me how to cross the lake, or I'll make a necklace from your teeth. Only fey folk can show the way. Dirty fairies built a bridge. Keep all you big folk out unless the snake invites them in. You're a fairy, aren't you? Where's this bridge? Ha! We're a pixie, not one of those flamby-pamby mushroom herders. Besides, the bridge is invisible to big stompers like you. The creature peers over your shoulder and waves its tiny arms. Oh, look, there's a fairy now. Why don't you ask her? You turn to look, but in your moment of distraction, the pixie sinks its sharp teeth into your finger. Ouch! You sneaky little blighter! Springing free from your grasp, the slippery monster chitters a laugh and vanishes in a cloud of smoke. You look down at your dust-covered hand. Fairy or not, this bridge must be around here somewhere. Pushing aside thrushes and cattails, you find a strangely carved pedestal. It might be mistaken for a bird bath if you didn't know any better. As you run your finger around the edge of the bowl, the remaining pixie dust on your hand flakes off as if drawn in by an invisible force. Crude pictographs appear on the surface of the basin. They depict a coiled snake presiding at the center of some kind of festival. Directions on how to reveal the bridge are carved on the outside. You see symbols resembling fey dust, dancing fireflies, and bird feathers. I do have fairy dust. You shake out the fine dust into the bowl and it settles evenly to its inside surface. Alright, so I need... Watch the birdie! Okay. Oh, okay, this is the right way to the swamp. Oh, hi, that's a dryad. I don't want to mess with you. Not yet, anyway. Talks big, cowardly at heart. Good to know. And into the swamp. Because I need stuff from the swamp. Okay. Hack shroom, a bloodsucker, and a skeeter. I don't have any frog slime. A bait stick. Ooh. Can I make a bait stick? Toxic thistle. Who's there? My eyes have gone milky. Please come a little closer, sister. I don't believe we've met before. Why do you call me sister? I don't need sight to see someone who's also signed a dark contract. The woman looks blindly through you, though you can sense her focus. Contract? So you've had dealing with that damnable goat too? What sort of pact did he rope you into? Oh, you know how it is. I was young and he weren't no goat when I knew him. We used to dance naked under the blood moon and raise the dead to frighten the dull country folk. Ah, but it's ancient history now. Old age comes for us all, and eventually you've got to hang up the sacrificial dagger and settle down into the comforts of retirement. I know the feeling. I miss my cozy chair and little fireplace. Seems like a fine spot you've got here. Well, it's not all posies and pumpernickel. She clutches worriedly at the moth-eaten blanket in her lap. What's rattled your bones? Maybe I can help? It's my dear old husband. Handsome chap, although a bit clumsy. He had a tumble trying to weed out some swamp traps from the yard. Awful things like to snap at your toes when you're not looking. Anyways, he twisted his ankle pretty bad and went off into the sick house to have it looked at. But that was a few days ago. He should have been back by now. And these legs haven't worked right in decades, so I can't even go to check up on him. I've been so worried. I even thought about making another contract. Don't you dare. You just wait here. I'll go find him and see what the bother is. Thank you, sister. The sick house is down the road to the west. Be careful of the critters along the way. They've got a taste for blood. And we have started the leech. Alright, I needed a bait stick. What did I need? A thistle. What the fuck is you? A drake. Not a full-grown dragon, but just as mean. Swamp mud. Embalming salts. To brine the dead is harder than it seems. Hag shrooms. At least there's plenty of frogs in the swamp. What are you? Snag vine, a stick totem. Well, that's a feather for me that I didn't have to work for. There we go, there's the thistle. Right, that's a rotting stump. There you are. Alright, so I'm going to make 2 of these just to be safe. Bug ichor. Alright, that was what I needed. What did I need it for? Right, I need dog hair. I'm going to try to finish up the bear first before we end this episode, and I'm taking that snail shell, whether you want me to or not. Oh, a place of power, but to what end? I've ended up in the wrong spot. Nope, here we go. We'll figure that out later. Alright, back to the bear. Alright, so I needed... Fuck. Like a gemstone. My mistake, I have to go back to the fields. Now the big question is, where the cow at? Is it down here? Upon closer inspection, this mountain of hay appears to have been deliberately woven into an intricate wickerwork structure. You carefully pluck a single piece of straw from its center, and the whole bundle begins to swirl and unravel until a gaping vortex opens before you. Handy! There you are. So I need an empty jar. Okay, we're back at the cow. I think I made that already. But now I need magic paste. And I need a wickerwork, which means I need... what else did I need? Oh, I just needed to make one. Cool, so now I just need a dryad fruit. Come at me, bitch! Perfect. We are finishing one of these lines before I go to the next one. Before I end the video today, actually. Alright, if I make you a protective talisman, will you let me into this tent? I suppose I wouldn't have much to worry about if you did. Protective talisman. Here, this ought to shield you from harm, for a time. He grins nervously as he puts the charm around his neck. Then he clobbers himself in the face with his own fist. Wow, you weren't kidding, haha. Though that's nowhere near the kind of punishment the bear can dish out. I better find some more stuff to test it out with. Then I'll give that bear a piece of my mind. He stumbles off into the camp to find other objects to try against his newfound protection, leaving the bear's tent unattended. Into the tent. I'm taking that teddy bear and that jar and that meat because I can. Remember, grab everything. Don't be like me. Alright, we add the honey. As you squeeze the honeycomb with your bare hands, thick, rich honey slowly oozes into the brewery's tank. It's too sweet for your taste, but then this potion is not for you. Metamorphosis. You ladle out a good portion of the writhing, tar-like substance into the brewery. To be safe, you add a little bit more for texture. And now the teddy bear. You pause before dropping the tattered plaything into the brewery. A glint in its button eyes reminds you of something, but the thought soon evaporates from your mind. You overturn your palm and the stuffed bear splashes down into the concoction. It floats sadly for a moment before becoming waterlogged and disappearing under the surface. With the addition of the final ingredient, the brewing equipment is sealed and set to work. Steam hisses from rivets and its swollen metal belly clanks and rattles. Before long, the waggling fingers of the gauges and dials settle down, indicating that the brew is complete. You give a quick sniff test and recoil at the sickeningly sweet vapors. You push an empty wooden keg under the contraption spigot and crank the release valve. The brewery strains under the pressure and fills the keg with chunky, oozing fluid. Ugh. May not be the finest honey meat around, but hopefully that great raging galoot won't stop to notice the difference. The brewery wheezes in defeat. You doubt it will ever make meat again. And not after having a teddy bear shoved inside of it. Ah, Captain, I brought you more honey mead. The bear swipes up its tankard with his massive paw and tosses the contents into a slavering maw without hesitation. He licks his chops, savoring the peculiar flavor. With a sudden jerk, he bears down on you with suspicion. Say, this tastes kind of funny. What did you do, soldier? It's an, new recipe. I thought you'd enjoy something with a little more sting in it. Rah, you know I hate new things! I'll teach you to mess with my favorite brew, you hayseed! The bear is upon you with frightening speed. He raises the huge mace in his paw skyward and you brace for impact. With an equal measure of speed, the sergeant leaps between the crashing mace and your head. You peer through your fingers as a great clang resounds through the camp. The bear roars furiously as his blow is magically repelled from the sergeant's talisman. The mace goes spinning out of his paw and falls into the lake with a great splash. He gapes, dumbfounded, as the sergeant stands before him completely unharmed. Ha! That'll teach you to pick on us, you big oaf! This has been a long time coming! The sergeant wags his finger at the bear. Who do you think you are, huh? You think you're so big and tough with your fancy feather hat and your big honking club? Well, look at you now! The camp soldiers gather to witness in stunned awe. Miraculously, the bear seems to shrink in the face of the sergeant's onslaught. If it was up to me, you'd be dishonorably discharged for disorderly conduct. You're a disgrace to the uniform. You're no captain of mine! With fear welling up in his eyes, the bear shrinks and shrinks until he's reduced to the size of a small cat. And another thing, what's happening? In place of the bear's drunken grimace is the stitched smile of a doll's grin. Two button eyes stare back at the disapproving faces surrounding the little plush toy. The sergeant takes a step back to reveal the small shape of a stuffed teddy bear where the brute once stood. Your transformative potion has finally done its work. Gee, I guess I overdid it. He scratches his head in befuddlement, but seems genuinely relieved. Hey, Sarge, I guess that means you're in charge now, right? Oh, yeah, I guess it does. Well, what are you all standing around for? The camp's a mess. Let's get to work. You pick up the diminutive doll and brush some sand out of its fur. As you inspect it further, its head lolls to face you. Far within the glassy surface of its button eyes, you can barely make out a tiny crimson flame, the trapped soul of the bear. This ought to be what that old goat is after. I hope he's happy. Let's go find out! Quest completed. Into the decay. What are you doing? You're not done collecting my souls. Well, fine. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you all for joining me. I will see you all next time. Next time we are going to be doing, I think we could probably get the ox done. The snake might take a while, and the leech is for sure gonna take a while. And then that'll be a third of the way through the souls. So I will see you all the next time I record this, which may be Tuesday, depending on what I find, and if not, it'll be the Tuesday after that. So I'll see you then. Bye!